Welcome back once again. Here we find ourselves in a little bit of a lover's quarrel. I'm just joking, none of you are my lovers. I love you if you watch my reviews or if you're audio only. I love you if you listen, but we're not lovers. Like, no need to make it too weird. Today's episode, I'm going to be talking about speaking of lovers, and 'tis the season for lovelorn losers. My next episode, this episode, I'm reviewing Heart Eyes, latest horror slasher. Which, to be honest with you, it's kind of. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was enjoyable. Definitely not, the second coming of Scream. Scream was. There's never going to be another Scream. The original, what the original did, you know, often imitated, never duplicated. But Heart Eyes is a nice, fun, if for a horror film, because we've had horror films based on Christmas. We've had horror films based on Thanksgiving, which anybody who knows me knows that, I don't really fuck with Thanksgiving. It's a fucking made up holiday. The real history behind it, we're not going to get into that. There have been themed horror films that were kind of like, you know, besides the granddaddy of them all, Halloween, can't forget about that fucking classic. And don't even try and fight me on that, because I will fight you West Side Story style, doing pirouettes while I have a switchblade. Because that's what they were doing in West Side Story. Them dudes were tough, doing ballerina moves, ballet moves, and cutting each other. It don't get no more tougher than that. And speaking of cutting each other, fucking A, man. Oh my gosh. So a good horror villain is defined, or horror film is defined by the inventive kills. And so you get the opening of Heart Eyes, where there's this goddamn, like, annoying fucking couple. Like, the best thing about this film was the reality of relationships between men and women, and some of the insane shit. Like, I think I was meant to be led that the dude proposed to his girlfriend, but she was mouthing the words, which led me to believe that his, well, soon to be fiance had written out the whole proposal speech, which is a level of narcissism and psychopathy that I just, a little speechless. I instantly did not like her. I did not like that bitch. I did not like this bitch, Sam I Am. I do not like her. Because she's a bitch. There's no way for me to make that rhyme. Her fiance, her very brief fiance, he held that title for literally minutes. He fucking died. He caught like an arrow to the head. She lasted a little bit longer. Her fucking one stupid white girl mistake was answering the phone call from her dead fucking fiance. Like, if I just watch my fiance die in front of me and I'm trying to run and save my life, do you think I'm going to pick up the phone call of my dead fiance? Because I'm not. I'm definitely not gonna do that. The fuck? And so old Hard Eyes, ends up finding her because bitch picked up the phone. And she hides in this machine. Like, I don't know much, if anything, about the art of winery, but there's this machine that I assume squeezes the grapes to extract the juice. And Dummy is hiding in there, of course, because it's a horror film. Of course she's going to get found. She ends up getting compressed and her fucking eyeballs pop out of her fucking head. And it was just perfect. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. It was fantastic. It was orgasmic. It was sensational. It was great. You have, I don't remember the name of the white girl that was the lead or co-lead or whatever the fuck. I'm pretty sure she was the lead. But my God, man, if Mason Gooding isn't just like the picture of affability, and if you're trying to figure out like where might I know that name from, Mason Gooding was his last outing was Scream 5 and Scream 6 as the nephew of the character Randy from the first Scream. Super great looking guy, great smile, fucking affable energy. And again, like, it sucks that the world is this way, but super great looking guy. You know, I'm comfortable enough in myself as a straight man that, you know, I can say, you know, I can acknowledge when there's another person who's good looking or someone who's even better looking than me, because I'm not really a slouch myself, you know. I'm a California 5, but in Oregon I'm like a fucking 7. But that's mostly personality driven, if I'm being honest with you. But the film worked, like the way that their little meet cute was very, very violent, but it was funny. I was like, damn, I was like, okay, I was like, well, how the fuck, you know, the way it ends, I'm like, how the fuck are they gonna get back in contact with each other? Like, this is you know, this is like a horror romantic horror comedy, rom-com horror. That sounds bad. Rom-com horror. It's because there's a lot of romance. I mean, it's a film about Valentine's Day, so how can it not be romantic? And then there's comedy, like physical comedy too. Like, oh my God. Because at one point they both drop something and they both go to pick it up at the same time, bump heads, and then instead of her standing up, she bends down even further and he goes to pick it up, and then she jolts her head up and fucking headbutts him on accident in the nose and gives him a bloody nose, and then is like, see ya, peace, and dips on him. Jordana Brewster and Devon Sawa are also in this film, and man, bro, like, it's good to see Devon Sawa acting, and even better, like, horror. Like, a lot of us know Devon was first introduced to the world, I believe first introduced to the world in the music video for Stan. And then, if I'm remembering correctly, he went on to have a starring role in Final Destination, which has got a new film coming out. Like, and then he kind of just disappeared. He was in some other stuff, but he wasn't, like, I was really shocked that he wasn't as big as I feel like he should have been, especially given, you know, blonde-haired, blue-eyed white dude. Like, that's kind of the fucking pinnacle for succeeding. I'm just being real. But it's nice to see him back, you know. Got like a return from Devon in the first, like, every season of Chucky, actually. He's got like kind of a Phoenix role where, you know, he has a character for a season, that character dies, and they bring him back. So it was good to see him. And Jordana Brewster, like, I'm not going to ruin the entirety of this film because it's still new, and like I've said before, sometimes I will spoil things, sometimes I won't. Like, I don't want to spoil nothing, but it's nice to see her again as well. Like, I appreciated what she brought to this film. I feel like when you get to the explanation and the killer or killers do their villain's monologue, which is a tired-ass trope that just needs to stop, I feel like there are some holes in the plot thread. And yeah, it kind of, you know, that's the one glaring thing, is that there are some holes in the plot. Be that as it may, as you know, on this podcast, I like to give between 1 and 4 thumbs up, and I'm going to give Heart Eyes a nice solid 2. I don't feel like that's bad. It was fun. It made me laugh, and I got what I wanted, which was to see some horny people get that Michael Myers treatment, son, and some inventive kills. Some good fucking kills. Not even gonna front. I'm not even gonna hold you on that, because they were some tasty fucking treats, so to speak. But anyways, mwah, Goodbye. I love you. Until the next episode.